Hello everybody, welcome back. So we're on video number 3 of the hard bait series that I'm doing, and today we're going to take a quick look at surface lures or top lures. So obviously the name implies that to be used on the top of the water column, okay? They're not somewhere down underneath, they're on the top. They're actually a very exciting way to fish, because fish, when they're taking down their prey from the surface of the water, they don't just gently take it down and go off. They slam at those lures. They slam at the prey. They want to make sure that they get it. So many of angler has been startled by the way, the force of the fish taking the lure. And so it's just an incredibly exciting way to fish. Now there's a number of designs with this type of lure. I'm going to show you a few here on the computer. We'll take a look at some of the illustrations so that you get an idea of what you're looking at. Basically, they're usually made of solid plastic or solid balsa. And they will have their usual treble hooks affixed, but they have a couple of other little characteristics that makes them peculiar to being a surface lure. And basically, we're going to take a look and give you a rundown of what they look like so that when you go into your tackle store, you have an idea of what you're looking at. And if you decide to try this style of fishing, hey, then you know what type of lures you need to use. All right, so let's take a look at the first one. First design is probably one of the most popular ones that's in this lure. It's referred to as a popper. And it gets its name because of the way it kind of skims across the top of the water, kind of pops and splashes about and chugs. And sometimes it's also referred to as a chugging lure. And notice this design. It has a cupped mouth. Poppers will have these cupped or concaved mouths. And the water splashes up in the mouth as the lure is being trolled across the top or retrieved across the top of the water. And this gives this popping and kind of flipping about effect. Something that has fallen into the water and is struggling. That's what it's emulating, or imitating, I should say. Now you can see he's got his standard trebles. He has usually one at the back and one on the belly. Sometimes they come with, the smaller ones might just have one on the tail. And some of the larger ones may have 3. They're attached again with split rings, so if you want to do any modifications to the lure, you can. So that's a popper. So anything you see with a concave or cupped mouth is a surface lure known as a popper. Also take note of where the toe ring is situated. It is usually right in the center of the cup. This allows for the lure to be pulled horizontally across the surface of the water. All right. You want the lure to be on top of the water, being pulled so that it can dance and pop around. Now another shape, and this one is one of my favorites. It gets the name of Jitterbug. And notice it doesn't have the concave mouth, but it has like a set of wings underneath the jaw. The bottom lip of the lure. These wings can be made of aluminum. They can also be made of plastic. Here's another design, another shot of it, giving you another perspective. And what this lure does is it's being pulled across the top of the water. It kind of waddles, kind of skims across the top and waddles. And it kind of imitates a cicada or some winged insect that has fallen onto the surface of the water and is struggling to get out of it. You know, these things are just dinner gongs for hungry fish. You know, something hungry down there that's looking up. Trust me, if it's hungry and it wants to take it, it will. Again, they're equipped with trebles. There's usually one at the tail, and there's another one probably under the belly here, just behind this wing. These bodies are usually, again, made of balsa wood. They'll have various designs. They're also solid plastic. And they will basically float in the water when they're not being manipulated. Now another type of surface lure is this one here. This is kind of called, I believe the name they give it is Fizz lure. And that's the sound that it makes due to the wings which are on the side. They're attached on, again, O-rings. And these wings will flutter around as the lure is being trolled or retrieved. And they make like a fizzing sound. Again, it's imitating something that has fallen into the water column onto the surface and is struggling to get out of the water. So that's another variation of a surface lure. And this is quite an interesting one, that this one here. Yeah, this is another Fizz lure. This is a very old version. You can see just by the design that it's not a modern one, but it's still effective, needless to say. You will sometimes find these still. They have these little propellers on them, and that gives like a buzzing, fizzing sound in the water. Again, this is also a surface lure. This chappie has 3 trebles on him because he's probably a bit long. But you notice he's got the toe ring right at the nose here, and he's got the 2 propellers that give it its the sound as it's being pulled across the top of the water. So those are the basic designs of surface lures. So if you see anything that has the wings on the front, or the cup mouth, or the little propellers, or movable wings affixed to the side, those will be surface lures designed to be trolled along the top of the water column or just underneath the water film. Now the angler has a lot of license when it comes to using these lures, because they can be manipulated in so many ways. You can troll them, cast them and troll them in, retreat them in fast or slow. You can flip them about by simply twitching the top of the fishing rod, or twitching it side to side, making it dance and wobble. You can do all kinds of things. So it's you know, a very active lure to use. Now, if you're going to use these type of lures, one of the things I'm going to suggest is that you use it on a light action fishing rod, okay? And I do have a video about the style of fishing rod, type of fishing rod versus the type of lure. And I say light action because you want a fishing pole or blank that is very bendy. It's think of fly fishing, for example. Fly fishing rod is very flexible because it acts like a spring to get that line and that very tiny, almost weightless fly out to where you're casting it to. Because surface lures are light, their castability is not the greatest. So you need something that will kick that lure out as you're casting. And the best way to do it is with a light action fishing rod, because you can really load up with the kinetic energy and snap it out there and get that lure out to where you want it to go, right? So a light action fishing rod is the best way to go with these type of lures. Now cost, again, they can be quite expensive because of the different characteristics and things they add onto surface lures to make them work, or different styles of surface lures. They can come quite expensive, you know, $10, $15, $20, $30 per lure. And so these are lures you really do not want to lose. You know, you want to hang on to them. So you really do have to know what you're doing with them. When you're casting them out, you want to know where that lure is going and where you're putting it, all right? So it will take a bit of practice to use these lures effectively, all right? So that basically is your surface lure, all right? So anything with a cup mouth, with a wing, flapping wings on the side, if you see those, you know you've got surface lures meant to be used on top of the water. Don't be adding anything to them so you sink them down, all right? So that is a quick and dirty overview of our top lure, surface lure video, all right? So anyway, hope you liked the video. Please like and subscribe. We got another one coming up. We still haven't finished with the hardbait compilation, and I really need to get going with the knot videos too, I promised, right? Okay, this is Sharon. Bye for now.